When you're out on the water, every morning is different. Every day, different. That's what keeps pulling us back, again and again. Promise of something new, something exciting. The promise of memories we'll keep forever. Fishing is a simple pleasure, really. One that makes us feel connected, makes us feel alive. And when your line tightens and your rod bends, it doesn't matter if you're a 6-year-old or a tournament pro. That buzz of excitement hits us all the same way. It's the moment we live for.
Give me some.
More than 50 years ago, we wanted to change the way people fish, moving off the shoreline to where we knew the fish were larger.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of FishTec Live. I just want to check if you guys are online and everyone can see what's going on quickly, so just excuse me, we do this every week, I know. Just want to see if you guys are all on there, and we've got... Okay. It seems to be working. Okay, hi. Good evening, everybody, and like I said, welcome. Season 2, Episode 4. We've got an interesting one tonight. We've got Bryan Leppan and Michael Cannon that are going to have a chat with us for a while in the beginning of the show. We're going to have some information, the background on Inanda. We've got some aerial footage. We've got some mapping stuff. They're going to talk a little bit about baits. They're going to talk a little bit about technique. So I know, you know, I think for Bryan and Michael to do something like this just before such a important competition coming up on Inanda Dam, I really take my cap off to them, you know, for giving us this time, because it's extremely valuable information. And anybody fishing this tournament obviously is going to be wide awake tonight and you know, going to be watching and listening to what's going on. So yeah, I think it's just really great sportsmanship from these two anglers, and really top shelf, first class anglers, sharing this type of information with us at this critical stage of their season, particularly the Saba season and the FLW season and what have you. So guys, without any further ado, let me see if I can get Mike and Bryan on the line. Just hang on a sec. Hello, good evening, Bryan. Can you hear me?
John, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect, 100%. Good. Well, yeah, welcome, and thanks for taking the time to join us tonight.
No.
Fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic, John. You know, it's good to be here. Always happy to be involved.
No, 100%. That's the way I've always known you, giving back to the sport 100%. So, yeah, once again, thank you. Let me see if I can get hold of Mike. Mike, are you there?
How's it, John? Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Hi, Mike. Thanks again for joining us tonight and taking me up on this invitation. And I'm very excited to hear what you guys have got to say.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having us on the show.
No, geez, only a pleasure. So, guys, what I'm going to do, let me just see if anybody is making any comments or there's anything coming up on the feed. Sure, there's already a whole lot. I think I missed it there. We've got a whole bunch of guys. Vanna, Johan, Frikkie, Reinhard. Geez, all the guys. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Let's get back to... There we go. Can you guys see now? Okay. Bryan, first of all, tell us a little bit more about your fishing experience. I obviously have been following you for many years, but just the guys that are watching tonight, just tell us a little bit more about your basic fishing, a bass fishing career, and your knowledge, basic sort of how long you've been fishing in Ander Dam, etc., etc.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, look, John, I've been competitively bass fishing now for 19, 20 years, around about there. On and off, obviously, because it does require a lot of time, and requires a lot of finances as well. So some years you're in and some years you're out. But yeah, spend a lot of time at Ananda. Obviously, it's the home dam. It's just down the road here. And obviously, time in the water is key, and that's helped me to build my knowledge. You know, books and magazines, etc., can really only take you so far. So yeah, I spent a lot of time down there and learned some tips and tricks, and we can share some of that tonight. I'm sure it's gonna help the guys. You know, I've fished, grew up in the Saba ranks, fishing at divisionals and juniors, junior nationals, etc., junior pro tier, what have you, and then switched across the cash trails as well. Enjoy those cash events over the last probably 8 to 10 years now as well. So yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell.
Sure. And didn't you do quite well the 1 year in the Inanda Bass Classic?
One particular year, I think the biggest fish was I got a second or a third place, but I did win the team bag with Cold Grip a while ago. I haven't fished every single classic, but generally performed quite well there when I do. It's a local venue, so got the experience there, so that does help. I've done well there.
And don't you miss the old Bass Classic days?
I certainly do. It was an incredible experience. I mean, some years, one particular year, I think there were close on 300 boats. It was surreal, you know. So I'm hoping we can get it somehow. You know, I don't know what the politics involved, but I'd really like it to make a comeback. You
know, you actually spot on. The 1 year I was boat number 324. So, and you remember what the campsite used to be like?
Absolute chaos. It's jam-packed. It's unreal.
That was a good time. So, Bryan, yeah, look, as we play the video in the background, you're going to give us a little bit of a breakdown there and sort of take turns with Mike. So I'll sort of bring you up and say, you know, can you give us some information, and then give Mike a turn, and we'll just play it by ear and break it down, basically. You know, I think the important thing that I want to say to the guys tonight, this is not about particularly giving away Mike and Bryan's secret spots. It's more about learning a technique, getting a little bit of local knowledge at such a critical time from the guys, like I said earlier. So, guys, we're going to be watching the chat as well. If I miss a question, just repeat the question again. If you see it go past the feed, and just say Bryan and then your question, and then we know that is aimed at Bryan, and I'll watch the feed while Bryan and Mike are talking, and then I'll just maybe interrupt them and say, could you answer this question for us? Okay, Bryan, thanks. Let me give Mike a turn. Mike, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your fishing experience. I remember meeting you with your dad when you were just a little guy, and it's so keen. I think the first time I really got to know you and your name was at the Albert Falls tournament. That was the year your dad won the Albert Falls tournament. Can you remember that?
Yes, John. My old man, I think it was in 2000 or 2001, he caught a giant bass. I think it was 5.64 kgs, and we went home with a bucky. Yeah, no, it was a really, really special fish. I mean, I think both of us were so nervous we forgot to even fill the lava with water. We just ran to the weigh-in. But man, it was a really, really special experience.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, and just to give you a rundown on sort of my history of fishing.
Please.
A good point you brought up about my father. He was the one to get me into fishing from a very young age. Sure, I think from the age of 3 or 4 years old, he had me on the boat with him, you know, putting in the time, trying to teach me, and, you know, we're spending good sort of family time bonding out in the water, and it was really special, you know, to grow up and learn from my old man, and he taught me a thing or two.
Yes.
I think I got into the juniors a little bit late. I managed to do 2 seasons there and did quite well. I made Protea twice, and that was really the start. That's when I got the bug, and started taking it seriously. Went through varsity, gave it a little bit of a break, and then decided to take up divisionals. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. And we've had really good results at the divisionals. Made it to a couple of the nationals. Had 1 or 2 good finishes there, and quite excited to be fishing my first President's Test coming up in July shortly, which is going to be fantastic.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Zimbabwe at Nteri. So
yes,
there's going to be some dogs there.
Fantastic. Whenever I hear anybody talking about dogs, the first thing that comes to my mind is you and Bryan. You guys in my mind are known as team dogs. Whenever you got photographs, there's these massive fish, and I can basically just see the guys watching Facebook and just drooling over their bloody keyboards. It was a good time. And tell me a little bit about Inanda. How did you... Obviously, your dad played a big part in the whole thing. What can you remember was the first thing that your dad told you about Inanda Dam specifically?
Look, I've come a long way from fishing with my old man, but back in the day, we used to just drag a finesse worm around on all the drop-offs, little rocky points and whatnot, and did quite well. I think we've adapted quite a lot in the modern day, sort of moved with the times and the newer baits on the market and things like that. But he just taught me, obviously, just persistence and time on the water is how crucial it is. And that's the main thing I can take from him. Can't emphasize how important time on the water is and how much you can learn. Every little bit and situation that you get put in, you learn something every single day. I mean, even now, every day I'm out there, I'm learning something new. So and that's what keeps us coming back to the sport. That's fantastic.
100%. I like to push the whole idea how important electronics are and how important charts are and all that type of thing. But I agree with you 100%. You cannot beat time on the water. You can go out there in a canoe and spend every day on the water, and I think you're going to do a fantastic job, as opposed to a guy that doesn't do any time on the water but has got everything. 12-inch on the front, 12-inch at the console, you name it. I'm sure you'll agree with me there.
No, 100%, John. Spot on, yeah.
Yeah, no, the time on the water is so important. And Mark, it's so difficult because, and Bryan, you too. I mean, you've got a couple of businesses going. Mark, you've got your business. You've got a newborn child. Bryan, you've got a young latte. I think you just turned 4 the other day. I mean, how are you guys maintaining? How are you doing this, Bryan?
Yeah, no, John, it's sure it is a struggle. You've got to do the best you can, and you've got to try and find the time and try and make the time, even if it's a morning session. You can sneak away from the office somehow, or on the weekends. Yeah, it's a huge commitment, and that's why some seasons we're there and some seasons we're not. Some of the tournament trails we're able to fish, some of the divisionals you've just got to try and pick and choose as best you can. It's a big commitment. It's a lot of strain on relationships as well.
100%.
Yeah, it's really quite intense.
It's super tough. And you, Mike, how are you coping with the little young one?
Yeah, look, obviously got the new baby girl that's just come through 6 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Fantastic, really exciting time, Donna. Thank you. I must say the biggest key to it is I've got a fantastic support structure from Melissa. I mean, she is incredible. She helps me with my business when I'm away. She really is everything. She makes it easy for me to go fishing. Shall I say that?
That is so important.
I can take a day off work comfortably and know that I've got my back covered. I've got my business covered, because she'll pick up the pieces if anything goes wrong while I'm on the water.
100%.
But so I think that's the key, and obviously give and take. You obviously got to just compromise and make sure that you're giving as much as you're taking. and that's the key.
No, geez, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Right, guys, I think the guys have got a little bit of a insight into who you are. Most of them have seen the pictures on Facebook of you holding those dogs, but let's get into it. I'm going to merge in the video here. I don't know how much of a delay there is. Can you guys see this video as we come into the bay?
Out of 15 second delay, John. That's not too bad.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's fine. We'll cope with it.
Okay. Ooh, I see that. There is quite a bit of a delay. I'm going to wait. Can you see the camera spinning around now?
Yeah.
Okay. What I've done is I've paused on this aerial section. This is a section of Inanda Dam called Rocky Bay. I don't know if you guys have a different name for it. Bryan, Mark?
No, Rocky Bay.
Rocky Bay. That's it. Everybody knows it as Rocky Bay. Now, from this angle here, I've actually got a chart. I'm going to bring the chart up. There's going to be a little bit of a delay. Okay, yeah, I'm going to pause. I'm going to wait for the chart to come up. What I want to ask you guys is, why did you... I know when I saw you in, I think it was James's Bay, and I said, where are we going next? And you said you want to go to Rocky Bay. And I immediately, when you guys said Rocky Bay, I knew, wow, that is a big fish spot. That is... I've heard the stories before. I myself have caught some nice fish there. I just knew it was a great spot. What was your plan? Why in these conditions that we're experiencing now with the rising water did you guys decide on Rocky Bay? Mike?
Look, from my perspective, I like that bay. It's got a bit of everything. There's some deeper, as you're moving into the bay, it's got some deeper banks on the right hand side.
Correct.
Which you can target. So we got a bit of everything in that bay. We started out a bit deeper, but we noticed on that day that the fish were actually positioning more on the shallower, flatter sides of the bay.
Okay.
So I don't know if you remember, we started out quite deep. We noticed it wasn't working. We actually motored along quite fast along that section, skipping out a lot of the deeper water. And then we stopped in that first little cut there on the right hand side.
Correct.
Okay, and obviously because it flattens out a little bit at the back, and bass like to sit on those little points of those weeds and right in the back, right in the sort of thick stuff at the back. And we spent a bit of time in there. Fortunately, we didn't catch a fish, but this bay has actually just got a bit of everything. If you look in the back section, there's beautiful rocks going in there. There's a nice flat going into the back there, and the key thing that was in that bay was bait. If you had a good close look, there was bait fish up in the shallows, and you could see a bit of activity, which a lot of people overlook. And we were fishing fast-moving reaction baits, horny toads and topwaters, trying to get them to react to this. And if you can get it into the right section and kind of get them to react with the bait, you can get some nice big blow-ups. This horny toad that we fish, a lot of people think, it's a frog. I think it's quite the opposite. It's actually imitating a fleeing bait fish.
Okay.
If you've ever seen a small tilapia being chased in the shallows by bass, it gives like a skittering, jumping effect across the surface.
Yes,
which
true.
looks exactly like a horny toad or a striking super toad. Those are the two favorites that I throw. And big fish feed on bait fish, and that's why we were there. A nice area where we know a couple of big fish live.
Yeah. No, I think it was a very good call. Bryan, can you see where the video is paused now, where you guys pulled right into those weeds in that first little cove?
John, I don't know. I've got the aerial view here. I'm not so tech savvy. I don't know if I'm supposed to be refreshing this or whatever the case is, but I can see the aerial view. Just to add to what Michael's saying about how we approach this event. You know, we hadn't had time to spend a lot of time on the water. We didn't actually pre-fish for this event. We've been away. But what's key is, you know, Michael mentioned as well, is you know, what's in that bay. You know, the grass, the weed, etc., rock. There's a river, like a creek that runs through there as well. But part of your preparation for this is to you know, to have a look at your chart and say to yourself, okay, I've got 23-kilometer stretch of dam here. How am I going to break it down? And you need to find, because there's kilometers and kilometers and kilometers of grass, okay,
Yeah.
etc. And it's not all created. Exactly. So now, you know, everyone's going to go, oh my gosh, there's so much to fish. How do you fish? You know, and you end up fishing too fast and trying to cover too much water. But the trick is, what you need to do is you need to fish the best weed and the best grass. And what's going to, you know, help you achieve that is basically having more options, which would be the rock, the river channel, drop-off edge or whatever, close to that grass. So you need to kind of choose that and eliminate as much of the water in that dam that you can, and try and focus on key areas where you can slow down and methodically try and catch those fish. So it's a mix between covering water, but staying in what you believe is obviously calm water, or what's going to be effective for your fishing day. You know, and that's obviously, it helps a lot, having sort of memory of the dam, knowing what it's, you know, what like a month or two ago, but having the chart is obviously, it's all done for you. So it's a lot easier. You can go into this bay, you can see where the rocks are, you can see the weed that comes close to the rocks, you can see where the creek is, where the river channel is, how it comes close up to that bank, and those are the areas that you can target. Instead of just fishing kilometers and kilometers of sandy bank where there's some grass growing, you know, you've got to break it down. You have to eliminate water. That's really the trick. That's fishing really is to get your bite is pretty much a process of elimination. You know, you've got to get rid of that stagnant water.
Yeah,
and that's what we did, and that's why we're in this bay. You know, like Mike said.
Well, I think that's the difference between success and failure, is working out where not to fish in many cases. And I believe the charts do play a part in that, saying stay away
100%.
from this area. You know, rather concentrate on the type of area that did work previously or recently.
100%. The only variable, John, to throw it out there that would affect things would be if there's bait fish around in a certain area. You might go into a certain bank and there's a weed blowing on, and you might find, okay, in this it's a sandy bank, and there's some bait fish in there, and there's some bass in there, but it's so rare that actually happens, that you're much better off getting yourself into good areas and staying there. You know, someone watching this might not have an exception to that rule, but, you know, there's always an exception. But I mean, it's such a fractional percentage of the time, you know, that I think the charts are invaluable, you know, and having that knowledge, like we discussed in this right now, actually what's inside there and why those fish would be there. There's so many options, you know. So the bait fish generally going to be in that same kind of area as well. It makes sense.
Yeah. You know, quite strangely enough, sorry to cut you off there, but that little area, I know the video is playing on now, but that little cove where you guys were in, when you guys were leaving and I was in that little cove, I was still taking some photographs with the zoom camera. I heard a little plop behind me in that spot, in that little cove, and I realized that it was bait fish. And I quickly grabbed a rod and I threw a little weightless plastic in there. And then I sort of left it, and then you guys took off and I waved goodbye, and I wasn't really focusing and I was reeling in. And let me tell you, I actually pulled that plastic out of a fish's mouth. I got such a fright I nearly dropped the rod. So you guys were on the right spot for sure.
Yeah, I think we must have just been through there too fast, you know. Because we were there pretty quickly, but geez.
Yeah, but you were on the money. That was a good fish. That was a good 2 kilo, you know, that sort of range. And he actually came right to the boat. I pulled the bait out of his mouth, basically. So yeah, but that's just me, my dodgy fishing skills. Right, guys, I've paused where we are now. I saw you guys you sort of went right into the weeds here. Mike, can you tell us a little bit, why did you choose this specific spot to go right into the weeds here? Is it something that you know about the spot from previous fishing?
My memory, I'm trying to remember, there's one or two things that happened there, John. Either one of us got stuck, or we saw a piece of timber or a little rock that was in the back there that we were trying to pitch a creature bait carefully to. So I don't want to lie and say there was something special there, but
Okay.
There could have been. We'll leave it at that.
No, well, that's honesty, and I think that's all we can ask for on the show. Fantastic. Let me just play this on a little bit here. Yeah, I was trying to work out why you guys spend time inside there, and I was looking at my chart going, geez, what are these guys spotting, you know?
Look, John, our presentation, our baits, a lot of the time we actually skip them into the back of these little sort of flats. You can see these little pockets in the back of some of these areas here. Yeah. And occasionally you do get hung up. I think we got hung up over there.
Oh, is that? Okay.
Yeah.
So I've misinterpreted that.
It must have looked good.
Yeah, no, it looked very professional. I thought, here's something special here. Bryan, you sent me some pictures of your baits. Were there any of those baits that you'd like to discuss now, or were you still on that horny toad bite?
No, there's a couple of other things I think that we can discuss that the guys need to be aware of, because the topwater frog bite, yes, it did get fish, but it didn't get all fish. And, you can't just go out there and be a one-trick pony. You need to have a couple of options, conditions change. Sometimes it's not, a lot of times they're just not eating it, they're missing it. But, so, there's a couple of things we can discuss.
Okay. Bryan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull us where you guys sort of started to move into this rocky bay, just so that the guys can get a feel for this area, and then I'm going to bring up a couple of those baits that you sent me pictures of, and maybe you can just tell the guys how you would present these in this type of area. Could we do that?
Yes, no, 100%, John. You can just guide me through the process. If I've got a delay on my visual here, then I can just start talking, you know what I mean?
Okay. Basically, where the video is going now is we're going right into the back of that bay when you guys are basically on top of the rocks. I'm watching a live feed here, so I can see where there's a bit of a delay here. So I'm just going to wait for that to come up. So when you guys moved into this bay on top of these rocks, did you stick with that bait, or did you think about changing to possibly some of the baits that you sent me?
Yeah, you can see, wow, that's a nice image. That shows it extremely well. Obviously, that's relatively, very shallow water. So a lot of times, we call it a 1-2 punch, where Michael would be throwing bait X and I'd be throwing bait Y. And what that would be in this particular case is Michael would be throwing a super toad, a topwater frog, and then I'd be throwing a chatterbait. Obviously, a chatterbait gives me, gets me closer to the fish. The fish don't have to travel as far and eat that topwater bait. And I can cover a lot of relatively shallow water very, very quickly and can get a reaction bite. It's just one of those baits that also catches bigger fish, in my opinion. We saw the game this weekend at Albert Falls doing the same damage. I see it on the screen now. That's okay, yes. So that's just the basic. That's just the basic Z-Man chatterbait, and then that's striking blade minnow, as the trailer there, and that works exceptionally well. Obviously not only for me now, because the cat was lit up the bag at Albert Falls this weekend with the guys weighing 17 kgs and 14 kgs. I pity I wasn't there. So it's an exceptional bait, and if you look at that bay, obviously those flatter sections for me would be predominantly we are fish it, and obviously running along the edges of that. I don't know what that stuff with the purple flower is called, but whatever that weed is growing on the bank, you can run it alongside that. Obviously, on those steeper banks where there's a bit of depth, in that same flowered bush or whatever it's called, you obviously want to pitch to the side there as well. So when you get your style, and that's part of the other part of with the other baits, you want to pitch or punch into that stuff. So that's kind of how you do it, Yeah. Cover water with the one, and vertically pitch into the thicker stuff, with the punch rigs.
Yes, I think I've put up a punch rig now.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it yet.
I haven't got it yet, but I know. Okay, there's one now. Okay, that's,
can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
What is this?
That's
a killer,
Go for it.
Sorry, Mark. I know I sent these to John without you knowing. Okay, so that's a tungsten collared weight, and then the punch skirt that you push up onto that collar of the tungsten weight. You can see those bobber stoppers in the front there, because after a few fish they do burn off. So I kind of reinforce them, because tying that smell knot is quite time consuming. So it's a bit of a hat cut. Put a couple of extra bobber stoppers in the front there, and then that's a green pumpkin, the side bait D-bomb. I put that in a 3-hour straight shank profile hook. And that particular one's on braid, trim the skirts a little bit. So I've got the braid option and a 20 pound fluorocarbon option, and that goes into the fixed stuff. Puts it in. It allows you to cover water quite quickly. And one interesting thing about it is, because obviously you need that weight. There's the fluorocarbon one now on my screen. Yes. You need that weight obviously to get through the cover. You know, you can't sit there, shake it all day to try and get it to go through. So you need the weight to go through, but also your fall rate plays a role. You know, a quick fall on that bait through the stuff gets a reaction bite. You know, a lot of guys like to throw weightless plastics. I don't want to mention their names, so I don't know if I get in trouble. But anyway,
it could be too slow.
Yeah, you know, it's too slow. It does nothing. It just gets no reaction. You know, and so that's part of it as well. You know, color-wise. Quite dark under there. If there's a bit of even darker, so you stick with the green pumpkins. If the water gets dirty, then I'll go to black blues and that kind of. So that gets you into the thick stuff, and generally that's where your bigger fish will be. It's a nice contact profile, but it's still nice and bulky. So it is like a nice meal. And if you look at that sound profile that it puts there now, it's a really nice sort of bait fish. As it goes into the water and goes down, it's got a nice bait fish profile, pretty much, you know, and like a chatterbait and the toad as well. That's basically what we're trying to achieve there.
Yeah. Jeez, that's some first class advice here. Really, that's fantastic. I'll be honest with you. I've got no experience with fishing with this type of bait. I don't even own one on my boat, and definitely, I know you guys are so busy, but one day I've got to come and spend at least an hour with you. Just hop on there and see what you're doing. I'd love to learn how to fish something like that.
100%. I'll trade you an hour of that for an hour in your boat with electronics and that new fish review and all of that kind of stuff, because I'm technologically retarded with that shit. For that stuff. So, I don't think an hour will be enough. I think I'll trade you 1 hour for 10. How's that for a deal?
No, lekker. Mike, just a quick one for you. You know, when you get into this area, I know you guys like the mosaic charts a lot, which we saw earlier, but very typically, depending on the level of the dam and the certain areas around Inanda, you'll notice, strangely enough, Inanda is my home dam, and you'd think my local charts would be the best, but they're actually not. And areas like this, actually, the mosaic gets quite poor and it gets quite blurred, you know, because it was the old mosaic, and by the time I learnt about the whole ultra HF thing, the water was too low. But this chart that I've got here is known as your elevation chart. I know the guys are not familiar with it. Have you used this this elevation view before with the charts?
Yes, John, definitely, John, I have. Obviously, it's great for showing you elevated areas and rocks and things like that. You can see basically where your shallower and deeper areas are. And it almost gives you like I don't know what you want to call it, a 3D kind of view of what's going on under the water.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's a great tool.
You know, I actually want to take this opportunity to talk about this view here. This elevation view happened purely by accident. It was an additional feature that came about from the HD imagery that we get with the drone, and it's a form of light distance ranging that gives us this 3D shaded relief type of look. Now that was a free upgrade that came with the software, that came with the craft, whichever. And geez, when I first saw it, I thought, man, this is so much better than just the photograph, you know, the imagery side of it. I know the guys in Clan William. Both of you have fished Clan, eh?
Yeah.
No, I haven't fished Clan personally.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Sorry, Michael, you're missing out.
No. Missed out, yeah.
Okay. Bryan, you used the elevation down at Clan, didn't you?
I did.
And how did you find it?
No, it's an incredible feature. You know, you look at that thing. I'm looking at the graphic now, and it's exactly like it. I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb. You know, you might look at a satellite imagery and it gives you a lot, but it's so much easier. You can't miss it. It's very, very clear. And obviously, it's fluctuating water levels. Obviously, this you're looking at, you can see those rocks there and whatever. But when you take that to another level, and you're talking about river channels and small humps, falls in particular, you get all those humps, Michaelton. We've started talking about Ken Williams. We're talking about the damage that he's done on an Ed rig with a TRD. On that view, fishing those humps at Albatross a while ago.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no. Strangely enough, I was trying to bring up a website. There's a company in the States that does very similar type of mapping. They're called CMOR, CMOR. And, man, these guys do this type of mapping, but salt water. And they charge $700 for a piece of the ocean, depending on what's a popular fishing spot. But, from a sonar perspective, to create this with sonar, the cost of that transducer is 2 million rand.
Yes, that's unreal.
That's wild.
So can you see how amazing it is that the drone industry that has just exploded in the last sort of 3 years will give something as special and unique as this as a free upgrade? Imagine.
Yeah, no, that is incredible.
Yeah. No, it's a complete game changer as far as I'm concerned. I just wish I knew how to. I wish I had this, more further back if I had it longer. But anyway, time is just like that.
That is awesome. Yeah.
One consolation is that I never believe that it's too late. You can always, whatever you got your hands on, what's available, and you can utilize it and introduce it into the sport like bass fishing. I think it's in years to come, I think it's going to play a big part. Can you guys see where I've gone to now? Jeez, I think my one is really...
Got the rocks all from your photographs that you've taken.
Yes.
Yeah,
now
I'm looking at a photograph. Yeah.
Okay.
Now this is key.
Okay. Now I'm just going to fast forward this a little bit so that the guys can see exactly where you were here, and then you guys are going to have to wait for it to catch up on your side. Just wait till you see the Photoshop where I photoshopped your boat into where you were. Just tell me when you can see where the boat's popped up. This is one of...
Yeah.
Okay, can you see it? Okay. Now, this is where, all these photographs are georeference photographs from when the water was low. Now, where you guys were there, you must have been in extremely shallow water. Mike, what was your approach here? Pardon?
Yeah, we were probably in about 2 foot of water. We were obviously trying to dodge that big rock on the left, trying to hit the trolling motor on it. Those baitfish, if you have a look right at the back there, those baitfish get into those little rocks and crevices, and there's a couple of openings. You can see where the little river channel runs there up against that edge. Those kind of areas are key little spots, and we're just trying to target that spot to try and get a reaction bite. We're fishing for obviously less fish but more aggressive fish up in the shallows, and hoping for some bigger bites. And no better place to catch a dog than in a spot like that. I mean, the photos show it all. I mean, what self-respecting bass wouldn't want to go and hang out there?
But if you look at this elevation view of where you are now, I mean, you guys were on the exact right spot. You were right on that little ledge there, coming off that main little channel. And when the water is as dirty as what it is right now, it's hard to see that with the naked eye. Did you know it was there with the naked eye, or were you just banking on charts or previous knowledge?
Yeah, sorry, Dan, I can just jump in there. I want to interrupt Michael because he's had enough to say. No, I'm joking. I just wanted to jump in there. Obviously, looking at that aerial now, imagery, we call it, I forget what it's called, but
the elevation.
What's it called, John? The elevation, yeah. So I'm looking at it now on my screen. You obviously can't see my mouse pointer, but you can see even in the photograph where you Photoshop us in the back there as well. The charts allow us to fish fan cast literally 360 where the boat is now. it's shallow water, but we can see on the charts, listen, there's rock all around us. So there's a strike zone all around us. There's an opportunity all around us. Whereas if you don't have that, you just find yourself fishing the banks, fishing the grasslands, and you're in an island. You miss that little creek that comes in there. You can see that little creek that runs in, and there's a little rocky point just in front of the boat where we are now. And if you turn around, there's another little rock pile behind you and then some scattered rocks. So you miss out on all those opportunities if you don't have that technology, So in order for us to compete at this level, there's a lot of guys that have got that technology. We can't afford not to have it. That's just where we are. We've got this crazy addiction. People that don't bass fish think we're out of our minds, and I'm sure everyone watching this gets the same treatment. But that's just what we do, We strange like that. But you also might know, I fish the dam a lot, but it's very deceiving when water levels change. The rocks are there, but they're actually not. And that's where I've caught myself out in the past a lot. Is you think it's there, but it's there. You think the rock pile's there, but it's not. And just now, we don't have to worry. We don't have to spend 2 hours in this day. We were in there quite quickly, like you mentioned as well. We can pop that area 2 or 3 times during the day, and that's key because it is a good area, but it does play a role.
Especially when the dam level comes up to 100% again. I know this was one of those spots when one of those big southwest busters came through, those big storms came smashing through Inanda. I remember the number of boats that used to haul ass to Rocky Bay just when that happened. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, that bay traditionally, I've gone in there. I won't give too much away in terms of the weather conditions, but there's certain times you can get into that bay and you can get a limit of fish literally, in 10 minutes, 20, 30, 40 casts, you can have a limit quickly, and that's happened to me. Doesn't happen every time, but if the conditions are right, it's a good area to go to for obvious reasons, as we can see on the screen now. Those fish are in and around there, and it's just when they get more active, they're obviously a lot easier to catch.
Yes. And I'm just trying to find a picture. On this day, I'm going to merge it in here. I don't know if this is going to work. This was the day of the FLW, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was FLW. Okay. Guys, just something while we're waiting for Bryan and Mike to catch up on the feed here. Guys, keep in mind, these guys allowed me to film them and do all of this during a tournament, and geez, I know I was being a pain in the ass and whatnot, but I think it was a great opportunity to see what people do in tournament conditions, not practice situation, but in an actual tournament. So I think, there we go. Okay, can you guys see the picture that's come up?
Yes, yeah.
There we go. That was obviously first place, eh?
Yeah.
Magic. And tell me, with the FLW, where are you guys going to next?
We are off to Albert Falls Dam next. So there's some big bass coming out there out of 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah.
And then we're off to the final after that at Bryan Dam, which we've got your chart, so we should be sorted.
Oh, that's a big one. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, we just fished divisionals at the Bryan, and I did a post on Facebook a while back. I don't know if people saw, but I didn't have a chance to practice, and must say I solely relied on your charts for my practice and trying to find some areas to target for the tournament, and I got some really good results. So it's an amazing tool to be able to sit at home and actually work out the dam in the comfort of your living room. It's great.
No, thanks for that, Mark. And that's exactly how the guys should be using the charts. There's so much you can do off the water with your charts, so when you get on the water, you can concentrate on the most important thing, fishing. I think that was your Bryan fish, eh?
Yes, yeah, that was one of the good ones, yeah.
Oh, geez, that's a bus of a fish, eh? And I think it was fishing quite tough, wasn't it?
It is extremely tough, John. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know.
Look, people were aiming to catch 1 or 2 fish a day. It was extremely tough, but the quality of the fish are incredible there. I mean, you can see, just look at the quality of that bass that I'm holding there. I'd say the average bass, if you took the sort of average across the weigh station was probably about 1.6, 1.7 kgs, which is phenomenal, but it's just the numbers that were struggling. I was told that the water, there was some fluctuation in the water just before we got there, where it dropped rapidly and then came back up, which might have turned the fish off a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure on those details, but otherwise it was extremely tough, very tough event.
Well, you did very, very well. So congratulations. And you guys are obviously going to be in the FLW final. And
good.
So we're really going to be rooting for you there.
I appreciate it, John.
Thanks, John. That's great.
Lekker. Guys, I think I've pretty much come to the end of my little spiel and what have you. Is there anything else you would like to share with anybody?
I think you're missing one big thing about your maps at Ananda, John, which I'm really excited about is your aerial HD photography.
Oh, yes.
That you've taken and the photos. Now that the water's come up, okay, you've got kilometers and kilometers of grassline and weed and vegetation, which is covering most of the structure under the water there. And what you'll find is it's quite difficult to pick them up. And what's great, like a lot of people don't understand, is it's not just a patch of weed that we're catching those fish out of. 90% of the time there's a rock or there's a piece of timber or something's under there. And to go and take your aerial photographs and go and just mark individual rocks in and amongst the vegetation.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. You can slow down. Instead of just doing one cast over a patch of weed, now you can do 5 or 6 casts over that same patch, because there's bass relate to structure and cover and timber and rock. You can make multiple casts at that same weed patch and sort of get a strike from a bass, where you'd normally just pass over it quickly with one cast. And I think that is a crucial part to your maps, which I'm super excited about at the moment, because we're finally actually getting to a stage where we can use it. We've had such low water conditions for so long, and now we can go and use those maps and mark all those points. I mean, Albert Falls, there's beautiful foundations and rock structures and things on those main islands there, which are all covered now. And I mean, give a bit of time for those bass to move in. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to play a very, very big part. And
with traditional finders, to try and find those rock piles in amongst that thick vegetation, you're going to struggle. Now with that aerial HD photography, it's incredible. And what's great about it, in comparison to the satellite imagery, satellite imagery that you've got on there, it's good, but you kind of see a rock, you think, is that a rock? Is that a mound of dirt? Is that I'm not sure. Whereas the HD photography that you've got, and your I don't know what they call the elevation photos.
Yeah.
The ones that you've taken from the boat, which help you to confirm, man.
Yeah.
Special stuff.
It just gives another dimension. No, you're spot on, and thank you very much for mentioning that, especially the comparison to the satellite imagery, because when we first started using satellite imagery, we said, this is perfect, that's all we need. But we found the big rocks, the big obvious stuff, everybody can see, but those little things we just can't see. We don't have the resolution.
That's it. You can actually pick up individual pieces of timber on your photos, which would otherwise get lost in the satellite photos. It's brilliant.
Yeah, no, thanks, Mark. I really appreciate that. Guys, well, there you have it. Bryan, anything more from your side?
I think we've summed it up pretty well. I think Mark capped it off there quite nicely too, pointing that out. He beat me to the punch. I think we've covered it. I don't know.
You're spot on. Mike and Bryan, once again, I'd just like to thank you guys. I really appreciate what you've what you've done, helping me out. Thanks very, very much. And guys, best of luck to you. And obviously, you guys know I'm a big fan of Team Dogs. And I'll see you guys on the water. Thank you.
It's a pleasure,
Thanks, John.
Cheers,
Thank
guys.
you very much, John. Cheers,
Signing
bye.
off.
Yeah, bye.
Cheers. Guys, well, there you have it. Sure, that was so awesome. That was nearly 15 minutes. Shame, I said to them, I only need 15, 20 minutes of your time, and these guys just gave me nearly an hour. So, Mike and Bryan, thank you very much. You guys are really first-class guys. It's exciting to watch you. I can't wait to see your results at the end of the day when I know you're fishing a tournament. I know something special is going to happen. So, yeah, I really, really appreciate that. So, and best of luck to the rest of your season. Best of luck with the FLWs. Best of luck with the presidents. No, it's not presidents. I'll get it right. It's the one in Zimbabwe on Mtiri. Best of luck there, Mike. So, yeah, fantastic stuff. Thank you very, very much, guys. Guys, before I go, I just want to, let's just do a quick cap on what's been happening. Let me see if I can merge this in here, and I'll turn that off there. Yeah, some of the tournaments, before we get into the actual tournaments, let me just have a look if we got some better photographs here. Guys, I'd really like to make a special comment here about Henny de Prier and Barry Grove or Gravier. Man, these guys, those of you who know them will know the amount of work these guys put into their fishing and their mapping. They do 90% of all their own mapping. A huge amount of time consumption, huge amount of effort. These guys have really put in the time and the effort. And if you guys watch on the eBass trail, I think it is, last month, they just totally dominated on Makolo when it was quite tough. And this I think was Makolo. That's in the background here. And was that also Makolo? No, I think this was the only photograph from Makolo. This, I think, was this last weekend on Bronco Spruit. They won again. So Barry and Henny, you guys are having a really, really great season. And, yeah, I really take my hat off to you guys for putting in the time and the effort and coming up with such great results. Anybody can get lucky, but that is a lot of time and dedication. Another mention here is one of our very good customers, Johan van Kopenhagen. Johan, congratulations. You also had a fantastic day on Bavon. You put a plan together. You had a very generous and kind comment on Facebook, how you utilized the charts. Man, I really look forward to reading a little bit more about that experience from you. I know you're working on something at the moment. So yeah, let's see, and great stuff. I know you are quite new to KZN. This is a new trail for you, but you're really putting a stamp here with the Johan VC name. So yeah, congratulations, really great job. I can't remember which was day 1 or day 2, coming in with these beautiful fish at Bavon. So well done there. That was a very important tournament for you, and you did so well. So yeah, congratulations, guys, really. This last weekend on Albert Falls, from what I could hear, the stories I was getting, the pictures I saw, it looked like there was a traffic jam up the river at the Joey's trail at Albert Falls. And man, Kevin Naidu and your partner, 17 point something kg bag. What? Hey, guys, you know, to have a day like that when you're fishing on your own and no one's around, middle of the week, no one's stressing you, no boats pressurizing you, would be fantastic. But to do that in a tournament under pressure like that and around so many boats, it must just, man, guys, please, let's stop this. Don't show my spot. Keep the drone away. Keep the cameras away. Imagine if we had that experience on film, live. Guys, can you imagine what an experience that would have been for you, me, anybody around the world, to see how these guys were fishing and hauling out these monster fish. Never mind the fish that they managed to put in the live well, but the fish that they lost, just watching that whole thing happen live. Oh man, that would have been just a video of all time. That would go into the Hall of Fame as far as I'm concerned. We need to get our minds around this whole viewability and viewership thing. Hey, let's get with 2018 and show everybody what's going on. I think we're missing out on a great opportunity here. But yeah, geez, well done, Kevin, to you and your partner. Guys, the tournament's coming up. I see on the team tournament trail, Saba, we've got Vaal River coming up. I don't know if these dates and venues are actually correct. It's a little bit of a guessing here. Guys, keep in mind our Vaal River charts are very, very good charts. They are 5,500 Rand from the barrage all the way down to the power station. There's a lot of information there. Don't go to all this expense of boats and tackle and time away from the family and all this, and then you don't have the chart. And everyone else has. Come on, do the right thing. Bronco Sprite, we don't have much for Bronchies. I will be going to Bronchies pretty soon after I've done Zanin. Witbank is also on the charts. That's also meant to be done this year. Jeez, this year is going so fast. I can't believe it. And then we've got the Hoop Dam in August. Guys, our De Hoop chart is excellent. It's a very, very good chart. There's some incredible information. The feedback that I've been getting from the guys that have bought it, and we've sold a lot of those charts, they're 3,400 Rand. Give Colleen a shout, sales at fishtech.co.za. Place your order, get that De Hoop chart, start studying it now. That's an important one. Loskop, I see there's a tournament at Loskop. Loskop, we've got a nice hybrid chart, which is a sediment with some color and a satellite shoreline, which is nice. That's on our Northern Provinces chart. There's 14, I think 11 or 14, I can't remember now, sediments on there. And there's about 20 low-level satellite charts for the various dams for the Northern Provinces there. So look at that, and I see the final, the eBass final is on De Hoop. So yeah, get your De Hoop charts. Don't mess around. Mpumalanga Bronchies, we've got a nice sediment for that. Rasta Winter, we've got a nice sediment and a satellite for it. Loskop, we spoke about Quena. I don't think I have anything for Quena. And then of course De Hoop as the final. And then for the Lowveld Bass Trail in Nyaka, we've got a satellite and a sediment. Vygerboom, satellite and a sediment. Driekopies, I don't know. I'll have to check. I'm not sure what we've got there. But anyway, we will check that out. Just watching the feed now. Reynard says, don't mention the chart price. Sorry, mate. The eBass, we've got rhodocopies coming up, guys. That's a brilliant chart. You know, we were talking about the elevation view with the aerial HD. I think we've got 5 or 6 key spots on rhodocopies that have got that. Otherwise, you've got ultra HF around the entire dam. The contour chart is great. But I think those key areas where we've got the drone imagery, I think that's going to play a big part there too. So have a look at that. We've got Rasta Winter coming up later, Mokolo, Bronco Spread, Vaal River we've spoken about, Witbank we've spoken about. Yeah, so, and then, of course, the final is on De Hoop, and we've got that fantastic chart for De Hoop. So that we've got. Guys, I think that I want to finish off with that in the background, and I'll put that there. And guys, a last thank you to Michael Cannon and Bryan Leppan for joining me over the phone tonight. You guys are awesome. And for all you guys that joined us online tonight, sorry, there was so much going on. I think I missed out on a lot of information that was coming up on the chat there. I apologize, guys. But I'll go read through it now and see if there's anything that I can answer or add to it. But those of you who did come to the show or did make it tonight, once again, thank you very, very much. And guys, We are the world leaders when it comes to bass fishing and charts. Let's be proud of that. And any information that you might have for me where you feel we can improve in any way or form, please let me know. If there's anything else you want to see on the show, you want to be on the show, you want to phone in, you want to tell us a story about your local dam, and I'm specifically talking about the Cape guys, I'm specifically talking about the Northern Province guys, please, let's set this up and join me on my show. I promise I won't talk so much. I'll be quiet and you guys can tell me your stories and what you want to show us. I'll really, really appreciate that. So please get hold of me, and all of you fishing tournaments, these upcoming tournaments, best of luck to all of you. We'll see you next month at Season 2, Episode 5, believe it or not. Cheers, everybody.